Hello, today we will be discussing the importance of ethnic studies in high school. Most of us went through history class, learning about certain events in a small group of people. We memorized battle dates and spoke about the history that helped the United States, but we rarely talked about the communities that had a very powerful impact in what the U.S. is today. When students go through our curriculum and do not see themselves, their families, and their cultures in this curriculum, it sends a very strong message, even if it's unintended, that they do not matter. And this is why ethnic studies is a very important subject to talk about. Every student benefits from understanding different perspectives and learning how diverse communities shaped America. When students learn they are part of the missing history, they develop empathy. They get more confident and they have a stronger sense of who they are. Today I'm going to explain why ethnic studies is so important and why it should be required in high school. I will talk about the three main reasons. The first reason being that they get to listen to all these untold stories. The second reason is that it teaches them to advocate for themselves. And the third, it prepares a student to live in a very diverse world. With ethnic studies, we have the opportunity to teach the history that it's hardly told or sometimes left out. Traditional history books often skip entire groups. For example, indigenous people is only mentioned at the beginning, even though they continue to have a huge impact on policies in history till today. The Latino farm worker is barely mentioned, and their contribution to the United States hardly spoken about. We have Black history, which is really just put together for as far as slavery and the civil rights movements goes, ignoring accomplishments in science, literature, politics, and culture. When student learns a fuller version of history, they get a clear picture of how our country was built. They also feel represented, which is something many students are rarely experiencing in school. Seeing this curriculum helps them feel valued. It creates a sense of belonging. Research backed this up. A Stanford University study found that students at ethnic studies courses showed higher grades, better attendance, and a greater engagement. This improvements happened because students finally felt connected to the lesson. They saw their curriculum and they felt that they mattered. Ethnic studies introduces students to leaders who fought for justice, and not just the famous one that everybody knows, but the local organizers, the writers, artists, and everyone who stood up for their communities. When students learn their stories, they realize that change doesn't only come from powerful figures, that it also can come from ordinary people who are willing to use their voice to stand up. This helps students build confidence. By studying how other people spoke, students learn how to express their own thoughts, and in a very clear and respectful way. They learn to participate in discussions, listen to multiple viewpoints, and be more open-minded about how people feel. In many ethnic studies classes, students are encouraged to share their opinion. They're asked questions, and this engages them, and it makes them think of how everybody else is portrayed and what differences they can make, whether they're advocating for themselves at school, at work, or in their community. After these communication skills become even more important as students enter the world after graduation. The United States is becoming more diverse each year. Students will grow up to work with many different cultures, languages, and backgrounds. That means young adults need the ability to understand different perspectives and communicate respectfully amongst each other. Ethnic studies helps build these skills early. By learning about different communities, students reduce stereotypes and they can become a lot more open-minded. These are skills employers consistently say they look for. In fact, The American Association of College and University report that cultural awareness and communications are two of the most valuable skills in a workplace today. Ethnic studies encourages students to think about fairness and cooperation. These lessons help create stronger communities and healthier relationships both inside and outside of school. So when we look at everyone and everything ethnic studies provides, it's clear. It provides a lot of good skills for students moving into their adulthood. Today we explore why ethnic studies should be a requirement during high school curriculum. It teaches untold stories that are usually left out. It also helps students learn to speak up for themselves, and it prepares them for the diverse world that they would go into after graduation. Ethnic studies is not just another elective. It's a course that gives students the knowledge and the confidence to move forward and succeed in a diverse environment. When students learn the full story of their country, they learn to see who they are and how they impact this country. They understand themselves better and they understand others better. Every student deserves that opportunity. For all that reasons, ethnic studies should be part of the high school curriculum.